Module Overview. This module dives into the heart of constitutional law by unpacking the nature, scope, and evolution of constitutional rights and civil liberties, which are the essential pillars of democratic governance and rule of law. It offers a broad, deeply analytical understanding of how rights are defined, structured, limited, and enforced within a constitutional framework. You will examine different types of rights: civil, political, economic, social, and cultural, and understand their philosophical foundations, legal classifications, enforcement mechanisms, and practical significance. The module covers both substantive and procedural rights, highlighting how courts interpret and apply them. Emphasis is also placed on international human rights instruments, constitutional guarantees, landmark case laws, and challenges to rights protection in modern constitutional democracies. Understanding constitutional rights and civil liberties. Definition and distinction. Constitutional rights are legal entitlements granted and protected by a constitution. Civil liberties refer to fundamental freedoms protecting individuals from government overreach, e.g., freedom of speech, religion, purpose and importance, protection from tyranny and arbitrary rule, ensuring human dignity and autonomy, upholding democracy and the rule of law, facilitating political participation and personal development. Sources of constitutional rights: written constitutions, judicial interpretations, international treaties, e.g., UDHR, ICCPR, ACHPR. Two classifications and categories of rights: civil and political rights, first generation, right to life, liberty, fair trial, free speech, assembly, and participation in government; immediate and justiciable, economic, social, and cultural rights, second generation, right to education, healthcare, work, social security, housing, often progressive and resource-dependent; collective or solidarity rights, third generation, right to development, clean environment, peace, and self-determination. Generally recognized in international law. Negative versus positive rights. Negative rights require non-interference, e.g., freedom from torture. Positive rights require state action, e.g., provision of education. 3. Enforcement and limitations of constitutional rights. Judicial enforcement access to courts, public interest litigation, judicial remedies, damages, injunctions, declarations, limitations and derogations, permissible limitations. Rights may be restricted for public interest, national security, or morality, be lawful, necessary, and proportionate. States of emergency. Some rights may be suspended during war or public danger, but core rights, e.g., right to life, remain non-derogable. Balancing test and proportionality courts often weigh individual rights against societal needs using proportionality analysis. 4. Equality and non-discrimination. Equality before the law. All persons are subject to the same laws and are entitled to equal protection. Prohibited grounds of discrimination: race, religion, sex, ethnicity, disability, political opinion, social status. Affirmative action: constitutional measures to promote substantive equality and redress historical disadvantage, e.g., quotas, reservations. 5. Freedom of expression, religion, assembly, and association. Freedom of speech and press. Central to democratic participation includes protection of dissent and unpopular views, may be limited in cases of hate speech, incitement to violence. Freedom of religion. Right to believe, practice, and change one's religion includes religious neutrality of the state, secularism. Freedom of assembly and association. Essential for civic activism and unionization, may be subject to regulations for public order and safety. 6. Right to due process and fair trial. Due process rights notice, hearing, impartial tribunal, legal representation, and reasoned judgments. Criminal justice guarantees presumption of innocence, right against self-incrimination, right to appeal, protection from arbitrary detention, habeas corpus, timely trial access to courts. 7. Privacy, dignity, and personal autonomy. Right to privacy protection against unlawful surveillance, data collection, and intrusion. Includes bodily integrity, home, and correspondence. Dignity and autonomy rights tied to reproductive choices, identity, sexuality, and end-of-life decisions. 8. Challenges to rights protection. Authoritarian backsliding. Erosion of constitutional checks and balances. Selective enforcement rights unequally applied based on political, ethnic, or economic power. Digital rights and surveillance. New technologies challenging existing rights frameworks. Cultural relativism versus universalism. Tensions between universal rights and traditional/customary practices.